to jasonnewland.com. My name is Jason Newland. This is Let Me Bore You to Sleep, Whisper Wednesday. Yeah. And it's Wednesday I think it's the 15th of October 2025. Please only listen when you can safely close your eyes. Take my glasses off because I'm not looking at a computer screen. You know, it's weird. I did yesterday's Trivia Tuesday. Probably, it was still light outside when I was doing it. And for some reason, I decided to make a video. The reason I'm saying it was light outside is because it's dark by 7 now, or 6:30ish. So I made the video, recorded it. It was broken into 5 pieces, so I kind of, every time there was an interruption, I stopped and then started again, a new piece of film. And I really thought, you know what, I'll give it another go, because I've had problems with videos in the past. Just the amount of time it takes, the effort to make a video and put it together is so it's hours and hours and hours of waiting around for it to upload and then to edit and to process. It's just a long time. But for some reason yesterday I thought, I got a good idea, I'll make a video. Well, it wasn't a good idea. And I really notice Vinny making more noise when I'm whispering, even though he's probably not. Don't worry, that zip was just my cardigan. He's giving himself grooming himself, making himself look pretty for all the little female doggies out there. So anyway, wow, he's making so much noise. I don't know if he does it on purpose. It's really difficult to make a whisper recording with the neighbours and with him. All I can hear is and him moving around the sofa. I'm not even sure how much you can hear. Oh well. He is my co-host. So yeah, last night I made the recording, finished it, went to upload it, and nothing I did was working. I tried to upload it to Google Files, or Google Drive, sorry. That wasn't working, I failed. I tried to upload it to iCloud files. That wasn't working. Seriously, it got to the point where I left it on all night, uploading to another thing when I went to bed, and I woke up halfway through the night to go to a wee, and I came in here just to check and wasn't doing it. It downloaded or uploaded two, and each file was about between 10 and 18 gigabytes each. It's a big old files. And I spent all morning trying to do it, to the point where I had to give up. It was just annoying me in the end. So I managed to salvage it and get an audio from it, but no video. So I basically saved it as an audio and then edited the audio and have it as a podcast episode, which I've literally just finished uploading about 10 minutes ago. 5 minutes ago, actually. Whenever I started this. So they're uploaded to Spreaker, they're uploaded to SoundCloud, and I've shared them on Facebook. I genuinely just, wow, such time it took. I mean, when I do a recording, it takes time. So if I do an hour recording, there's the hour of recording obviously, and then editing. Sometimes that can be, or let's say editing and processing, an hour. Sometimes a couple of hours, it depends on how much editing is necessary. But roughly hour and a half, and then uploading another half an hour, 45 minutes, maybe an hour, depending again on how many recordings, how long they are, what size files they are. And then included in that time is also creating an image, getting a description, so upload or downloading a file, uploading it to get transcribed, and then getting that transcription turned into a description for the podcast, and then getting tag words, and then creating an image for the podcast, and then editing that image, and then uploading that image to each podcast episode before I officially upload the recording or make it available or publish. That's the right word, publish it. So before I publish an episode on my podcasts, I have to make sure that there's a description, the tags are on there, and that the image is on there as well. So it's quite time consuming, which I don't mind, I'm used to. But the video, that's just on a new level, which I'm not doing. I can't do it. So I'm going to stick to the audios. It wasn't that I was making yet another change. Maybe, but Vinny's now on the floor again, so hopefully it will be a bit quieter. Probably not. He'll find a bone to crack on. So publish it, then it's uploaded onto YouTube automatically, and of course Vinny will be in the background making as much sound as he possibly can, contributing in his own way. So, yeah, other than that, really, that seems to be what I've focused on the last, yesterday and today. I'm glad it's done now. I'm glad I was eventually able to process the videos in a certain format, not as a video but as an audio, and then go through the process of editing. And so I'm glad that I was able to do that, because I was starting to think that maybe I might lose the recording, which has happened a few times in the past, but luckily I didn't. So yeah, that's available, and this recording, when I've finished recording it, I will take Vinny out, and then I will do the editing and all that stuff when I get back, and then I will watch EastEnders, and I will watch Big Brother, and that's it. Then I'll go to bed. I'm just going to check to see what the time is. It's 7 minutes past 5 p.m. So 7 minutes past 5 in the afternoon. I normally try and take Vinny out around 6 or just before 6, because his friend Archie is sometimes around at that time, and he loves seeing Archie. They love each other. I just wish they could spend more time together. It's a real love, you know, real kind of connection between them. You know, about the same size, and it's a shame that he can't have a proper run around with him. Oh well. I'll tell you what. I was, when I was younger, I'm not talking about yesterday, when I was a kid or like a young adult, and I used to hear people talk about arthritis and how people could tell when it's going to rain, and the rain affects their arthritis. Honestly, I used to laugh, not in their face. I wasn't rude, but I just thought, what are you talking about? Rain affecting your body? Are you talking what? It actually does. The dampness, it affects my lower back. I mean, I'm not going to pretend to know what the weather's going to be like. You know, my lower back tells me it's going to rain, and my left knee says it's going to be sunny, and my bum says it's going to be windy. I don't know. I don't have. My dandruff says it's going to be snow. I hope I don't have dandruff. Oh, I shouldn't do. I use Head and Shoulders. Or in my case, you shouldn't do. You've got no hair. use shampoo, even though I'm bald. I do. It's just because I've still got hair. If I didn't have any hair, I still got the hair follicles. So even though I've shaved it off, it is starting to grow back. And although I would argue that the hair on my chin is growing quicker than the hair on my head, although technically the hair on my chin is hair on my head, because the chin is part of the head, isn't it? You know what I mean? The head, as in, I was going to say my helmet, not my helmet, but if you was to wear a helmet, mind you, some helmets do cover the chin, don't they? Okay, I'll stop talking about helmets. Seemed to be a good example, but maybe not. I just have this memory of sitting outside junior school, drawing the school, like with easels, in the summer, just sitting outside with these easels and these pads, or maybe just the pads, drawing the school building. Why would I have that random memory? How's that? What's that to do with anything? I don't know. Someone called me a slaphead the other day. A lady who walks her dogs. "You're alright, slaphead," she said. Like, wow. Nothing much is really happening around here. I did some laundry yesterday, and I did some laundry today. No, not yesterday, the day before, and I did some laundry today. So I did all my tracksuit bottoms and underwear, and today I've done all my all the t-shirts that needed it. I don't wash t-shirts that don't need washing if they've not been used. I only wash the ones that have been used. So them and one of my little grey cardigans. When I say little, I mean they're not little, but they are grey cardigans. I wonder what I'd look like if I was fashionable. Any ideas? I don't know. I just sometimes wonder. I went through a couple of periods when I attempted to be fashionable. Like 3 times. Blimey, Vinny. 3 times. One was when I actually I bought a suit for a funeral, my auntie's funeral, back in when I was about 17, 18. So I got credit in a shop, and I bought this suit, shoes, jacket, shirt, tie, all stuff like that. So that was nice. But then before that, when I was 15, I just started working in a chip shop, and I was earning £60 a week. And then the wages went down to £27.30 in September. So before that I was earning 60, so I was rich in my mind. I didn't have any rent to pay, didn't have any food to pay out for, because I was 15, I was still a kid. So what I did for that short period of time is thanks to one of the kids, there was this lad called Justin who worked in a shop part-time, and he was still at school. I think he was like a year younger than me, but he was in the other high school, so I'd never met him before. As per usual, we fell out straight away. and then we became friends. So I was rude. I had a tendency of doing that. I'd be rude to people. It was almost like I'd push there, see how far I could push them. I don't know why. And he ended up taking me to the next town to go shopping. He took me clothes shopping. Because he was super trendy or super fashionable, like proper fashionable. And even at the age of probably 14, maybe he was probably 15, he was probably, he's probably getting on to nearly my age, but he was only a year younger. So he was more fashionable at that age than I have ever been in my entire life. He just had it. He just knew how to be fashionable. So he took me to a couple of shops that were really one that I used again later on, but one that I'd never heard of, and it was almost hidden. Not hidden, but it was like it was nowhere near anywhere that I'd seen before. So what he used to do, can you imagine how much noise he'd make? Can you imagine how much noise he'd make? I had to actually stop talking, waiting for him to stop. How much noise would he make if I took down the "please be quiet" sign? He's a bit weird though, because when he wants to go out, he drinks a lot of water. Or when I tell him, like, come on, it's time to go, and we're going to go out and I'm getting ready, he just keeps drinking water, more water, just so he can do lots of wheeze. Bless him. So what Justin used to do is he didn't buy his clothes in the town that he lived, because that's where everybody else bought their clothes. He travelled to the next town and further out, so we could... I tell you, that dog is on a wind-up. Seriously, he's on a wind-up. Oh, you know what I got yesterday? I needed some more. I got these glass cleaners for my glasses, and they're these little, I think they might have a little bit of alcohol in them or something, and they're in a packet, and you open it up. It looks a little bit like those old salt packets, but open it up, and I tell you what it's like. It's a bit like those napkins that you get in, I don't know, is it KFC or some places where, yeah, I think it is, and you can like wash your hands on these little things. They're a bit moist, and I ran out. I had a few of them, and it got to the point where my glasses were just looking awful. Looking through them was, I could see through them, but they were getting smudgy. So what I did is, on Amazon I ordered some 2 days ago, and they came through yesterday. Vinny's now staring at me. I'm going to try and ignore him. He will start making a noise. You'll hear him. He'll start going, guaranteed. I'm not going to look at him. I got my eyes closed. You will hear. Wait until you hear it. He'll start moaning because he wants to get my attention. I'm going to look through my peripheral vision, and I see he's on the edge of the seat, staring at me. Really staring. We can hear him. I don't know how. He knows that I know he's there because his tail's wagging. I don't know, he might do a proper squeaky one. If he gets too loud, I'll have to edit that out. I went to turn round to let him get on my lap, but he didn't want to. Now he's sitting on the floor, staring at me. Oh yeah, so Justin used to go to like the different towns or go further away from where we lived, and you know, back then if I wanted to be like anyone, it'd probably be him. He kind of had I don't know, he had something about him. He was just, yeah. I think it would have been cool to be, I think he was fashionable and like a cool person and popular, all the things that I never was. And I'm not saying I necessarily wanted to be like that when I was at school, because some of the popular people annoyed me. But he didn't annoy me. Well, he did when I first met him. But, you know, after a couple of days, we ended up being, like, got on really well. But it was just... I've met a few people like that that were just really nice. Just genuinely nice people. And popular, but nice with it. Not popular and arrogant, and I don't know how to explain it really, but yeah, it was cool. I remember there was this one bloke, and I worked with him I worked with him as a cleaner. I had his job as a cleaner on the docks. And he was another kind of person like that. Very well dressed, very fashionable, good looking bloke. He was probably maybe a year or so older than me, around the same age, not a lot of difference. And I think I annoyed him, and then we became friends. That's generally what happened. It is with so many people. And then it just goes to show first impressions don't always last. If they did, no one would talk to me. When I was younger, that is. Now I'm probably a bit friendlier. I remember he came up to me because I'd see him in town sometimes because I didn't have the cleaning job for long. I had a lot of different cleaning jobs, and I remember I saw him in town, I think, and he was all excited. And I said, "Why are you excited?" He said, "Well, I'm allowed to be excited, aren't I?" I said, "Yeah, you certainly are, but please, you know." No, he was excited to tell me all about it. So basically, he went into a bar, one of the pubs in town, and he asked a lady behind the bar if she'd like to go out on a date with him, and she said yes. And he could not believe that she said yes. He really had no idea that he was like going to be a catch, but he didn't see himself like that, you know. And just kept saying, well, if your friend's got a girlfriend, or if one of your brothers gets a girlfriend, just ask if she's got a sister. So I did. But again, I wasn't sure. They didn't give me any more information. A bit pointless, really. Not as pointless as telling you, but then I think about 1999, maybe 98, 99, I got myself physically, like, really fit. Really fit. Probably, maybe not cardiovascularly, but physically to look at. I worked out every day and I got myself in tip-top shape. And I bought some clothes, some fashionable clothes, and even to the point where I was wearing these jeans, or these trouser jean things, and this black top that was very tight, so I could show off my muscles, and the top didn't even cover my belly, because I had a slim belly and had muscles there as well. Hard to believe, but it's true. I used to have muscles in my tummy. It's true, I'm not making it up. I've got no physical evidence, I've got no picture or anything like that. Because back then, we didn't have pictures. I mean, we did have pictures, but it was, you'd have to buy a camera or go into a photo booth, and I've had my photo taken in a photo booth before, and quite often someone would come along and just open the curtain thinking it's empty, and I didn't want to be standing there, so someone open it up and then see me with my trousers down. You know what I mean? So it's not a gain, especially if they're the same person, because you have to get out of there pretty quick. And we didn't have mobile phones that had cameras back in 1999. I mean, there were cameras, but also in those times you had a camera. I'm not sure if digital cameras were around yet. They probably were. Yeah, probably were, but like the normal camera, you'd have to take to a shop to get it distinguished or extinguished, or whatever it is, in order to see the photographs. And I'm not sure if they did the same for digital recordings as well, or digital photographs. So yeah, I've never really been into photographs. Just, yeah. I kind of wish I had, because it just, I guess it'd be quite nice to look at the past. Photographs of people I've known, photographs of places I've been, places I've worked, rooms I've lived in. Put it together in some kind of visual montage. But I can't. So all I've got is my words to describe the places that I've lived and worked, and the people that I've known. There's no other way of doing it. Yeah. I mean, it'd be nice just to... Like, I'm not saying if I had the power to go back in time, I wouldn't use it for something trivial. But if it was infinite, if I could go back in time as much as I wanted, there would probably be, I'd do some stuff, but then I think, well, let's just take a day off and do something a bit pointless. voice went weird when I said bed. It might be my ears. The bed. And then take pictures of, especially, take pictures of the place I lived when I was a kid. Having a picture of my bedroom before, when we were living in the big house, family house, and just, I've got memories of it, but memories, I don't know how much of it is correct memories, if you know what I mean. I do remember some stuff. Yeah, I had a bed. My window faced a brick wall. That's ridiculous, isn't it? Which makes me think that house was there before the house next to it. Why would you put a window opposite a brick wall? And the brick wall was the house. At least put another window in the other house so you could kind of look into their window. Maybe. Or a mirror. Have a mirror on the other wall. So it's only probably 10 foot away. Was not long distance. I could have jumped from there and touched the wall. It wouldn't have done me any good. In fact, it probably would have done me a lot less than good, because it's quite high up. I mean, I wouldn't be able to climb up. You know, where you see people and they climb up. Some things at the walls are quite close together, and they manage to do, I don't know how they do it, but they manage to do that. I couldn't do that because I'm not 10 foot tall. Plus, I had a key to the house. Why would I need to climb up the outside of the wall? Seems a bit pointless, really. Yeah. I did like that room, though. I did. Especially when the television arrived. Oh, wow. Love that television. Always a television person. Even as a kid, like a little kid, I remember just watching TV. It was my favourite thing. Everybody had a TV, pretty much. I don't remember much of what I used to watch when I was really little. There's only 3 programs I remember before the age of 7. No, 4 programs. There was Andy Pandy. There was Crossroads. So we used to watch Crossroads at the children's home and then go to bed. So we'd all have the chairs all lined up in front of the telly. I think we'd already had our evening meal. And Crossroads would be on about 6 or 6:30. And then we'd all go to bed. And what else? There was the football would be on. Just when I was proper little. Football would be on all day long, which I didn't really like watching. And the other program, I remember this because it used to be on a Sunday evening or Sunday afternoon, just as we were about to be taken back to the children's home. So for a few months we would get picked up on a Friday evening, brought back to my dad's and his wife's place, and we'd stay there was just to see whether or not it worked, And for some reason we always seemed to leave at the same time, and it was during Rent-A-Ghost TV show that was on. I don't know what time it was on, but probably 5 o'clock, something like that. And yeah, we used to go back. It seemed like a really long journey, but in reality it wasn't a long journey, not really. Like 60 miles maybe. 70 miles. It wasn't a long place, it wasn't a long way to go. And guaranteed my dad was probably doing 70 most of the journey. Apart from when he was on the motorway, then he did a little bit more. So yeah, those were the only TV programs I remembered. It's not totally true, is it? Because I didn't get to watch children's TV shows when I was in a children's home. No, I got to watch them once I moved at the weekends when we went to see my dad. So there was also Tiswas and Swap Shop that used to be on Saturday mornings. So one was on BBC One, which was Swap Shop. Noel Edmonds and Chris Tarrant did Tiswas on ITV. And back then there was only 3 TV channels: BBC One, BBC Two and ITV. And both Tiswas and Swap Shop had cartoons, and they'd have things like the Banana Splits, they'd have the Monkeys, remember the Monkeys TV show? And these were repeats from the 60s, but I guess technically quite fresh, because this was 1977. And there'd be cartoons like Hong Kong Phooey, what other ones? Catch the Pigeon. Is it Wacky Races? Catch the Pigeon, catch the Pigeon. I'm just trying to think of any other ones that we used to be on. The Muppets, I think. We see the Muppets. I can't think of what would be on a Saturday evening. I can't remember. There's a cat in the garden. I hope Vinny doesn't hear it, because if he does... In fact, I think there was one of the new neighbours has got a cat, and I think, well, she was in the garden with something on the lead. I couldn't quite see. He did start barking, but I saw they were holding the lead, a bit like the lead I've got. So I'm trying to calm Vinny down, and he rolls on his back. So I try and pick him up, and he just wasn't having it. Eventually, by the time I did pick him up, just to let him see outside the window, the person had gone. So I think they had a cat on a lead in the garden, I think. But I don't know, I've not met the person. So I've got no idea who they are. I mean, really, it started to be fairly quiet around here lately, which is quite nice. I like it when all the flats are full. I like people being around but not having to be around them. Yeah, I quite like that. actually helped her move a sofa in the other day into her living room. It was in bits, it wasn't heavy, it was just awkward to carry for one person. And she had one end, and she's half my size, so I kind of offered her help, and she said okay. So it wasn't heavy at all. I could do it with one hand, and but as I said, I couldn't lift it on my own, not because of the weight necessarily. Mind you, I think it was a bit too heavy to lift on one person, but it wasn't long, but it was too long. It's like, I don't know, it made sense to me when I said it. There's more movement in the garden, so I have to take Vinny out for a WALK. So I'm gonna go. I can't believe how quickly the time's gone. I've only been talking for like 5 minutes, and 50 minutes has gone. It's weird, isn't it? So I'm going to say thank you. Remember to be kind to yourself, because you do deserve to be happy. And be gentle with yourself.